All right. Welcome to Unfiltered. This is a side note. I want to talk to you today about Revelation. See, Revelation is like sitting and watching a play. You're in the audience, and before the play begins, the curtain is down. And then, so you don't get to see what's on the stage because the curtain is down. And then when the play begins, the curtain rises, and now you get to see what is on stage. It was there all along, but you didn't see it. It was covered. It was hidden. But when that curtain rose up, well, then you got to see what is on stage and has been there the whole time. That's what Revelation is. It's a moment in life where God pulls the curtain up and you get to see something that you didn't see before. Sometimes it happens by an encounter with a person. Sometimes it happens with words, but your day hasn't changed. Your situation hasn't changed, but your perspective has now changed because God has pulled up the curtain and He has showed you something that is now going to empower you to be successful and victorious. When I was in prison this last time, I was in a dorm with a friend of mine who's still a friend of mine today. And we were in the same dorm together. And every night he would go to the phone and he would spend time at night talking on the phone with his wife and his kids. And one day he came back from that phone conversation and you could tell by the look in his face that something was wrong. And so I asked him, I was like, "What's wrong?" And he said, "Well, man, when I was talking to my daughter tonight, she wasn't talking very much. She wasn't saying very much." And so I asked her, "What's wrong?" And she took a deep breath and she said, "You should be here right now. You should be here right now." Those are 6 words in a small sentence, but so very, very powerful. That's not a semester-long class that you learn some great deal in some lesson. That's not a 30-minute devotional in the morning or an hour-long sermon or some kind of 2-hour lecture from a professor. That is 6 words in one sentence that is so powerful. It cuts straight to the point and straight to the bone. He asked her, "What's wrong?" And she said, "You should be here right now." And based on the look in his eyes and the look on his face, it impacted him tremendously. See, me and him were both ashamed of the mistakes that we had made. And he needed that reminder. He needed that innocence, that pure honesty from a child that says, "Dad, if you want to know what's wrong, you should be here right now. You're missing these family moments because you're in prison. Your selfish, self-centered lifestyle has caused you to be away from us. And we're struggling and it's financially hard right now. And you should be here right now." Such a powerful sentence. It said everything that she needed to say instantly, and it hit him straight in the heart. And it created a motivation in him. That was that revelation. He saw something at that moment that he didn't see before. He knew about his mistakes, just like me. And all of us, we know about the things that we're doing, and we know that they're not wise choices. But sometimes it takes another person to let us know just how much it's impacting them. "Dad, you should be here right now." That motivation from those words in that sentence, it forever changed his life. And he went out and is still today being an incredibly good husband and an incredibly good father. And that sentence from his daughter, it impacted him and it motivated him. See, we have these moments in life. And maybe you're at that moment right now. Maybe you're sick of your lifestyle. Maybe you're tired of all the way that your life is falling apart. Maybe you're ready to make a change and you have a moment of revelation that says, "You know what? I'm not going to stay down anymore. It's time for me to rise up. I'm not going to keep going this way. I'm going to go that way. I'm sick and tired of my life looking like this, so I need to make some changes." Here's the thing. The only way that you can do that is if you decide to. See, the word self-control, that means control yourself. And maybe you've been living this lifestyle where you're just doing all of this crazy stuff and everything's falling apart and you're continuing to do it over and over and you're tired of the way that you're looking and the way that your life is looking. You should be here right now. Maybe there's a moment in your life right now where you recognize that I should be a better father than I am being. I should be a better mother, a better wife, a better husband. I should be there for my kids and I haven't been. Maybe it's not criminal behavior. Maybe it's not drug addiction and alcohol. Maybe you've been working a job that you've been working so much that you don't ever get to spend any time with your family. And on birthdays and holidays, you're missing. You're absent. See, the thing is you make promises to your kids about showing up to birthday parties and holidays, and when you don't show up, see, they remember that. Many men and women, when they get out of prison and rehab, they always ask me, like, what do I need to say to my kids and my wife and my family? What do I need to say to them when I get out and I see them and I tell them, you don't need to say anything? Because you've made promises in the past and you broke those promises. And they're going to remember those broken promises. But what you can do is you can make the change. You can be consistent. See, you judge a tree by its fruit. Not just your words, but your actions. So many times people are tired of hearing the promises and the words that we speak because our actions are not matching up with our words. And this requires you to be honest with yourself. If you do not admit your wrongs and admit where you have failed, then you can never change. If you always blame other people for your problems and you take the victim stance and say, everything I do, it's not really my fault, then guess what? Time will continue to pass and you will not be the father that you should be, and you will not be the mother that you should be, because you are making excuses. It is time that we stop with all of the excuses. If you look in the mirror and you say, you know what, I'm not satisfied with this way that I am living, then you are going to have to rise up and you are going to have to fight. Paul said, I beat my body and I make it my slave. I make myself do this on days that I want to and on days that I don't want to. On days when I feel like doing it and on days when I don't feel like doing it. I beat my body and I make it my slave. I make myself do this. And if you're in drug addiction or criminal behavior, if you're trying to make serious, big changes in your life, you're going to have to rise up and fight, because if you don't fight, you will not make it. You know when your kids need you? They need you right now. You need to be a better father right now. You need to be a better mother, a husband, a wife. You need to be a better mother right now. Your kids need you when? They need you right now in this moment. So you can do nothing to change the past. Those moments have come and gone and they're gone forever. But you have right now. You have this moment. And if you haven't been a good father or a mother in the past, you can be a good father and a mother right now. See, you are never so broken that God cannot fix you. But you got to come to him. You got to ask for his help. And you got to listen to his guide, his guidance and his direction and his wisdom. See, there's a difference between knowledge and wisdom. Knowledge is just data, just information. It doesn't become wisdom until you apply it. The ability to apply knowledge, that's the definition of wisdom. The ability to apply knowledge. You can learn and know so many things, but it doesn't become wisdom until you apply it. Many people go in and out of rehab, in and out of prison, and they're like, rehab doesn't work. I've been here 5 times. That's because you're not applying the information that you're learning. You're expecting some kind of magic wand to hit you on the top of the forehead and change you. But no, there's still going to be distractions and temptation, and you're going to have to apply the knowledge that you're learning. God can open up the curtain, and he can give you revelation, and then it's your job to do something with it. You can learn something and totally ignore it. See, his daughter could have said, you should be here right now, and he could have totally ignored that and gone about his day. But instead, he started to meditate on it. It had such a powerful impact. The curtain was pulled up, and he realized, you know what? I got to start making some serious changes. And he doesn't regret it, and neither do I. See, I don't miss my lifestyle in the past. I don't miss being a slave, beaten down with tormenting thoughts of suicide and depression and anxiety and drug addiction. I hated that life, but yet I stayed in it for so long, much longer than I should have. If you are at that moment in your life where you are ready to change, I'm ready to let you know right now that God is here to help you. When you have this revelation, you see something clearly today that you didn't see yesterday, you need to start pouring fuel in your fire. You need to start rising up and saying, you know what? I'm going to do this. Because maybe you're familiar, maybe it's killing you. Maybe that which you're in love with is destroying your life. But over time, walking with God, that which is unfamiliar will become familiar, and that which is familiar will become unfamiliar. You will learn new routines. You will have a new strategy. You will live a different lifestyle, but it takes time and it's a process. Give yourself a break. Where sin abounds, grace abounds all the more. God's grace is more than enough to help you in whatever situation that you may be in. And if you have not been a good father in the past, you can be one today. Walk with God. Hold the hand of your Father through life, and he will supply all of your needs. Why do I say this? Because this is not just my faith. These are my experiences. These are the things I have experienced in my own life that have transformed me to who I am today. And I owe all of the wisdom, all of the change, all of the transformation. I owe it all to God. He has carried me through so many storms. And here I am today with a smile on my face. If you are in bondage through drug addiction and alcohol, bad choices, maybe you're in a relationship you shouldn't be in, maybe you're at a job where the people around you bring you down, whatever it may be, if it's time for a change, today is that day. This is that moment where the old you passes the baton to the new you and your new life takes off running. But only you can make that decision. If your kids are looking at you today and they're saying, Dad, you should be here right now, then it's time for you to unplug from your distractions, and it's time for you to plug into this moment right now. God is here to empower you with success, empower you with victory. Any weakness that you may have, He's sufficient for you. But you got to make it up in your own mind. You got to be honest with yourself. You got to say, you know what? I've been screwing up and I'm ready for a change. And surround yourself with people that you can lean on and that they can lean on you, and people that are encouraging. If you are hanging around with snakes, cut them all off. If you're in a toxic relationship, then you need to cut it off so that you can be with someone who actually treats you decently. So you got to see your own value and your own worth so you can be in relationships with people who actually have love inside of them. This is that moment. This is your now. Rise up. Let the revelations that God has been giving you, the things that you didn't see a few weeks ago, a few months ago, a few days ago, or even yesterday, whatever it is you're seeing so clearly today, it is time for you to rise up and act on it. Knowledge and wisdom. Knowledge is just data. The ability to apply knowledge, that's when it becomes wisdom. And when you start making wise choices and following the guidance of God, your life will start changing for the better, step by step, day by day, and you will not regret it. But what you will regret is staying in that old lifestyle too long. It cost me so much. It hurt me so bad, and my friends and family. And you know what? I can't do anything about the past, but I do have today, and I do have joy inside of me, and I have this moment, and I'm sharing it with you because God has been so good to me. If there's a moment in your life where you can hear your life saying you should be here right now, it's time for you to start making changes, then rise up, put yourself in check, and go forward. Lean on God because He is so faithful and He is so amazing and His love is so incredible. I promise you this, these are my experiences. I know this firsthand in my own life. This is what I am living today. I encourage you to rise up. God bless you. Have a good day.